We're glad you're with us this evening. I'm Terry Brewer.
And I'm Janie Wallace, in for Lynn Brooks, who's on assignment, and we'll hear from her in just a moment. First, though, West Alabama is still recovering from last week's powerful storms, and we're learning more about the strength of those storms.
That's right. We have complete coverage from across West Alabama, beginning in Sumter County. And our top story at 5 o'clock, Governor Robert Bentley was in the Sumter County community of Geiger this morning. The National Weather Service says an EF3 tornado slammed that community with estimated peak winds of around 150 miles an hour. Meteorologists say the tornado cut a path of destruction a mile wide and 10.5 miles long. Several homes and businesses suffered some extensive damage. Governor Bentley says it's a miracle everyone survived the Sumter County storm.
This is the hardest hit area that I have seen. I went to Autauga County, and we've been through other areas where destruction has taken place. But I'm surprised and thankful that we didn't have loss of lives in this area.
After a news conference updating everyone on the efforts to help the residents of Sumter County, Governor Bentley toured the town of Geiger and met with residents who were affected by Friday's devastating tornado. He pledged the state will do all it can do to secure federal money to help citizens rebuild.
In Tuscaloosa, the National Weather Service says the tornado that hit South Tuscaloosa has now been rated at an EF3. It had a damaged path 19 miles long, and today Democratic U.S. Representative Terry Sewell toured damage left behind from those storms. Sewell met with homeowners who live on Crestline Drive, that's in Skyland Park neighborhood. Crews were still busy with chainsaws across that neighborhood, cutting down trees and piling up debris. Sewell said she will do what she can to help get them assistance.
I think it's very important that I see for myself the damage that was done to the 7th Congressional District and to communities like this. My hats go off, and I commend all the first responders, local officials that have done so much, and just want the people of the community to know that we will try and do everything we can to make sure that they get the proper assistance and rebuild this community.
On members of the community to pull together and help those who were hurt. As we have reported, Mayor Walt Maddox said he would sign a declaration of disaster to help the city become eligible for federal and state assistance.
The scene plays over and over again across the state. Massive areas are damaged or destroyed by the storms. In Monroe County, the deadly storms slammed into several churches and either damaged them or left them destroyed. This is video of a Missionary Baptist and a Methodist church. Both congregations say they plan to rebuild. And in Washington County, 3 family members were killed when a tornado struck their home. A mother and her 2 sons were killed. The husband, a daughter, and a friend are still hospitalized. According to the National Weather Service, an EF3 tornado struck the area where they were on Friday night. And the city of Tuscaloosa could end up with a hefty bill after the cancellation of the Sugarland concert because of Friday's severe storms. Mayor Walt Maddox says the decision to cancel the show was because all available police and emergency personnel would be needed for storm response. The cancellation could end up costing the city about $225,000. Officials say they would like to reschedule the concert, but right now that is uncertain. And those powerful storms raked across the southeast, leaving dozens of people dead. One of the hardest hit areas was North Carolina. This video you're looking at is from Cumberland County, which is south of Raleigh. The National Weather Service received more than 200 tornado reports over the weekend. 90 came from North Carolina. At least 45 people were killed in the storms, 22 in North Carolina. Well, tomorrow marks 1 year since the deadly oil rig explosion in the Gulf of Mexico. 11 people were killed and millions of gallons of oil poured into the Gulf. The spill sparked fear and record numbers of cancellations.
WVUA anchor Lynn Brooks is on the Alabama Gulf Coast, and she's been speaking with business owners in Orange Beach to see if travelers are returning. And she joins us live on the phone. Lynn?
Hi there. You know, this time last year, the Alabama coast was a pretty sad place to be, not just because people were worried about the environment, but also because people here who depend on this beach to make a living really felt like their livelihoods were being ripped away. But fast forward to today, Orange Beach businesses are not only surviving, they're thriving. Condominium rentals, for example, are on par with pre-oil spill 2009 numbers. Brett Robinson, Vacation Rentals, for example, is the largest rental company on the Alabama Gulf Coast. Today, officials with the company tell me they have enjoyed a big boost in bookings for their spring break period. Plus, their condos are nearly at capacity for big event weekends like the annual Mullet Toss that's coming up a couple weeks from now, and also the Hangout Music Festival, which is coming up in May. Now, Brett Robinson officials also say this time last year, their company was losing up to $500,000 a day to cancellations, but now they are booking up to $300,000 every day.
Oh, everybody's enjoying the beach and enjoying their vacations. They really are. Seem to be happy.
And we're now booking close to $250,000 to $300,000 a day, which is a nice pace and a wonderful change from right about this time last year.
Now, one interesting note, rental agents have noticed a big change in when people book their vacations. Before the oil spill, they say reservations were typically about 60 days in advance, but now the average customer is booking only 6 days ahead of their arrival. We'll take a closer look at why tonight on WVUA News at 6. Live in Orange Beach, Lynn Brooks, WVUA News.
All right, thank you for that reporting, Lynn. Today marks a sad day in American history. 16 years ago today, a bomb ripped through a federal building in Oklahoma City. On April 19, 1995, the bombing in Oklahoma City killed 168 people, including 19 children. Another 500 were hurt. Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, two former American soldiers with ties to a militant group, were charged. McVeigh was eventually executed. A memorial park and museum now sit on the site where the bombing happened. And today marks 18 years since one of the deadliest law enforcement incidents in U.S. history. On April 19, 1993, a 51-day standoff between the Branch Davidians and heavily armed federal agents in Texas ended in a fire that killed 76 people. Members refused to exit their compound near Waco. 4 federal agents were shot and killed. A fire started at the compound, killing dozens inside.
The University of Alabama paused to remember the life of former President Dr. Andrew Sorensen today. Earlier, Danny chimes played in memory of Dr. Sorensen. He served as president of the University of Alabama from 1996 to 2000. Sorensen was currently working at Ohio State University as a member of the administration. School officials say he died unexpectedly on Sunday. Dr. Sorensen had a long career in education, working at the University of South Carolina, University of Florida, Johns Hopkins Medical Institutions, and the University of Massachusetts. He is survived by his wife, 2 sons, and a grandson.
Now the latest on Northport's Sunday alcohol sales bill. City officials say it could be July before residents get to vote on the issue. As we've been reporting, Governor Bentley signed the bill last week. Now the city has 30 days to set a date for the referendum. Northport Mayor Bobby Herndon says the city hopes to get a date at the next city council meeting. After that, the city will have to advertise the vote. Herndon had hoped to have the vote in May, but he says it will likely be in July. Now to news across the nation. There was an early celebration of Easter at the White House this morning.
President Obama held a prayer breakfast in the East Room. Dozens of clergy and faith leaders from different Christian religions attended today's event. Among those in attendance, the Reverend Al Sharpton and Bishop T.D. Jakes. The president said this week is a time to pause and reflect on the meaning of Easter.
It has been full as well. The inbox keeps on accumulating. But then comes Holy Week, the triumph of Palm Sunday, the humility of Jesus washing the disciples' feet, his slow march up that hill, and the pain and the scorn and the shame of the cross. And we're reminded that in that moment he took on the sins of the world, past, present, and future.
This is the second year the president has held an Easter prayer event.